Good morning, dear participants. My name is Marcin Kuryło, and together with Adrianna Tomczak, we welcome you very cordially on the webinar SAP Smart Predict. We are talking to you today from Poland, exactly from the city of Poznań. It's very hot and sunny, very nice. At the beginning, I will say a few words about our company, and then Ada will go to the substantive part of today's meeting. SNP Group helps companies transform business models and roll out new technologies. Its software and services make it easier to execute technical or commercial changes in global business applications. Transformations, including mergers, acquisitions, restructurings, are a continuous state for the enterprise, so our investments in replacing existing IT systems to keep pace with technological change and networking and digitizing entire business models. And every change directly affects IT. SNP drives transformation for ERP systems with its Crystal Bridge software and its automated SNP transformation platform. Together with its Bluefield approach to SAP S/4HANA, which enables enterprises to upgrade and migrate in a single go-live project, SNP delivers automated transformation and higher speed and lower risk. SNP Poland is one of the biggest companies implementing IT systems in Poland. Since 2017 is part of the SNP Group, and we carry out projects all over the world. We provide IT outsourcing based on the secure infrastructure of SNP data centers. SNP Software Factory creates innovative applications that support any business process. Dear participants, that would be enough when it comes to a short introduction. Maybe one more thing. If you have any questions, please use the chat window. If the time allows, we will answer them for the end of webinar. And if we do not make it, we will collect all the questions and send them to you along with the answers. And now I give the voice to Ada.
Thank you, Marcin. And good morning, everyone. My name is Adrianna Tomczak, and now I would like to tell something more about predictive analytics and the new product, which is called Smart Predict. So for the agenda, at first I would like to tell something about predictive analytics, then about Smart Predict and its business value, and at the end I would like to present you some live demo. So what is actually predictive analytics? It is a set of business intelligence technologies that uncovers some relationships and patterns within large volumes of data that can be used to predict behavior and events. Unlike other BI technologies, predictive analytics is forward-looking, using past events to anticipate the future. And the main difference that should be mentioned between data analytics and predictive analytics is that when it comes to data analytics, we take into consideration historical data review and its visualization. And when it comes to predictive analytics, we are talking about forecasting some future events. The analytics in business is constantly changing, and enterprises that want to be effective should focus on development and investment in machine learning technologies and, of course, predictive analysis. So when it comes to the SAP Analytics Cloud Smart Predict, it is an intuitive tool available within the SAP Analytics Cloud. It allows to develop the prediction model based on historical data step by step in order to phrase some conclusions referring to future events, values, or trends, and to automate decision-making process. And Smart Predict allows to, at first, create predictions to determine the next best course of action, then generate personalized insights into the customers, vendors, and suppliers, And finally, enable business analysts to build trustworthy and actionable predictions. As you can see in the picture presented here, among business intelligence disciplines, prediction provides the most business value, but it is also the most complex one. Each discipline builds on the one below it. Predictive analytics can yield a substantial return on investment. It can help companies optimize existing processes, better understand customer behavior, or identify unexpected opportunities and anticipate problems before they happen. So now I would like to present you the live demo. I allowed myself to prepare a video for you earlier due to the limited amount of time. So if you allow me to present it in this form. Okay. So after the login to the system, to the Smart Predict, we need to, of course, upload the dataset. So we select the menu, the create option and dataset. There are two types of data that we can upload. We can upload data from a file or from a data source, but for now we select the first option. So we upload data from a file. Okay, we click import and then we will upload our data. It is a good practice to save all of our files and like, for example, models and data sets in a previously created directory. Okay, so the data set is being created successfully. So now that we have uploaded the data, we can start to build our predictive scenario. We select the create option. At first, we will check whether the data set is here, but it is. And now we can create the predictive scenario. As you can see, there are three types that Smart Predict currently offers, three types of predictive scenarios. The first one is classification, and it helps to predict the value of a target variable that can only have like two values, like, for example, yes or no and 0 or 1. Then we have regression. And regression scenarios predict the numerical value of a target variable, and it, of course, depends on the variables describing it. And finally, we have the time series option, and it predicts the value of a variable over time, and it takes into account further descriptive variables. So we select, for this case, we select the time series. We have to type the name for the predictive scenario. I called it the product forecasting. And you can, of course, add the description so it will be easier for you to understand what the scenario is about. So we type it here like sales forecast for next 5 periods. Okay, as you can see, our predictive scenario actually doesn't contain any models now, for now, and we need to select the Create Predictive Model option. We select the data set we previously uploaded, so it is in our directory. And to check whether the data is uploaded correctly, we check the variable metadata. As you can see, we have date, sales, and product category variables. We need to change the storage column for the sales because we would like it to be a number, not an integer. And once it's updated, we click Save. And now we have to select the signal variable, date variable, and whether we would like to have our model segmented by some variable. And as for the signal variable, it is also called the target variable. So we select sales. It is actually the only option available here. For date, of course, we have the date variable, and we want our model to be segmented by product category. Okay, below you can see that we can exclude some variables. Of course, excluding variable can speed up the execution process, but actually keeping them, it doesn't interfere with the modeling process. So in this case, we won't exclude any variable. We check the number of our observations. We want all observations to be taken into account, and we change the number of forecasts to 5. And then we click the option to train our model. Usually it can take up to a couple of minutes, so please be patient while training the predictive model. Okay. So now you can see that we have some top segments and bottom segments, and the top segments are characterized by the lower number for the MAPE error, which is mean absolute percentage error. It is shown also below the top segments to describe the average quality of segmented time series, and it is 3.24. We select one from the top segments. Let's take, for example, the C3 perfume segment, and we would like to see the forecast just for this only segment. So we change the overview for the forecast. You can see the chart, which shows the forecast versus actual values. The model is quite well prepared. It matches almost perfectly the actual values and the forecast values. You can switch the segment also by returning to this view, to the view showing us the top segment and bottom segment. And you can also select, let's take, for example, bottom segment for now. We can also select it from the, select by clicking the name of chosen segment. And again, we select the forecast. Actually, you can see now that this one, this segment, due to the fact it's called the bottom segment, you can see that these values are over twice the standard deviation computed on the estimation data set. There's also an option called signal analysis. So if you want to, for example, see some trends on the chart or cycles, like periodic elements that can be found at least twice in the training data set, and for example some fluctuations, and the fluctuation is what is left when the trend and the cycles have been extracted. We go back to our main model, and after we had a deeper look at the forecast and we are convinced about the quality of our model, now we can click on this little factory icon, and it allows us to apply the predictive model. We select our the name for the output dataset, and of course we select our existing directory. I call the output dataset forecast results. Okay. And at the bottom you can see the, let's say, a bookmark called predictive models. We can see that the model is being applied. Actually, this process also takes up to a couple of minutes, so we need to be patient. I decided to speed up the process a little bit, and when it is finished, we have a look at the results. Now we navigate to the menu and we select the browse option, and it is followed by files. So we select our results. Okay, and this is the preview of the dataset. We see the 3 created columns called, the first one is KTS1. Then we have, and it is the forecast and the error bar of the forecast. Then we have the KTS1 lower limit and the upper limit. And of course, it is fine to see each individual forecast, but for us, it may be easier to take this information through some visualizations. So we navigate to the menu and we select the create option, followed by model, because at first we need to create a model. We have 3 options. We can start with a blank model, import a file from our computer, or get data from a data source, and we select the third option. And we have to choose how we need to choose the data we have uploaded earlier. So we select here dataset. We select our forecast results again, and we see that data import is being prepared, and we create the model. Yes, we want to create it. I saved it again in my directory, and we have to enter the name for the model. So let it be a forecast model. Preparing model creation can also take up to a couple of minutes. But in this case, it is going quite smoothly, as we can see. Okay, so our model has been built. We need to change the view from data management to the model. And now we can build a hierarchy for our product categories. So we select the product category. And our segments represent the product categories like gift sets, nail and hair, painkiller and stomach tablets, and perfume. And the product categories are from C1 to C6. We create a hierarchy, and actually the only option available here is parent-child hierarchy. So we choose it. We have to give a name for this one. So let's put product group. And the first thing is that we want to add some member ID in the first column. So then we can head to the product group to determine the hierarchy. So we write these names into the fields under the product group in the first, in the first column, and according to the segment names, we just type it without the C1, C2, C3, etc. Segments. So let's type here first gift sets. Then nail and hair. Painkillers and stomach tablets. Perfume. And it is our last group. So what we're going to do now is we add these names, we put to the member ID, we select for the hierarchy, for the product group. We can choose it from the list, as in this case, or, which may be easier, we can type it in the product group field. We can copy and paste it. And as I said before, I prepared the video earlier, so because of the limited amount of time, so I filled all the product groups, as you can see. And now we have to save some adjustments we made to our model. So we click the save icon. And we want to visualize what we've created. So now we navigate to the menu and select Create, and followed by Story. We can choose how we would like to start our story, our report. As you can see, there are some custom templates and some templates prepared by SAP Analytics Cloud. We will choose the Add a Canvas page option, and then followed by Chart. We need to choose the model we previously created. So we have some data to be shown on the chart. Let's change the chart structure from comparison to trend line. And now we have to select some measures we will put on the left y-axis, which is for sure the sales variable, and the those 3 columns we created, VKTS1, the lower limit and upper limit. We need to add the time dimension, so we select date. And of course, we want to apply some filters, and we select the range for date. And on the pop-up, we can select the range that should be displayed on the time axis. And in this case, we actually want to see the complete history, so we just click OK, we approve it. Okay, so now the chart looks more like we want it to look like. And it goes more into the direction that we want it to. Okay, so since we want to compare different time series, we can now add a trellis. And to do this, we select the 3 dots as is shown here, and the option Add Trellis. And we select under the trellis Add Dimension, and it will be Product category. We can expand the chart a little bit, so all of the categories are shown side by side. What we're gonna do now is we will add the level 2 to our hierarchy, because we want to go on a deeper level, and we want to apply some new features. The chart is being actualized. Okay, so we want to add some new features, like for example, a flexible filter. So we need to add an input control, and we select it on the toolbar on the top. And as the dimension, we select the product category. Since it is a filter, we need some values to be presented, to be selected. So we click the All Members option, and we have to make sure that we have the multiple selection hierarchy option chosen. Then we click OK, and we need to expand a little bit this bar with the filter. We will make it bigger, so we can select the options. So let's choose, for example, the C2 segment, which is gift sets, and for example, the C1 nail and hair, and you can see the comparison only between those 2 selected segments. Of course, you can be more creative, and when it comes to the solution, you can try your data. This one is actually available on the SAP blog website. When it comes to live demo, it would be all. Thank you for watching and for your attention. And if you have some questions, of course, we encourage you to ask them.
Thank you, Ada. Yes, we have some questions. Maybe we can answer for 3 of them. And
okay.
The rest maybe after webinar.
Yes.
We will send the answers, because we have now a limited time. The first question is, does the model reflect some changes in pricing policy?
Well, if the user analyzes for example, product prices, then of course the model will reflect any anomalies, like for example, changes in pricing policy. And yeah, those anomalies the analysts may interpret as it, for example, change in pricing policy.
Okay, thank you. Next questions. What is the limit on the number of categories used?
Well, it depends on the amount of data and its structure. So the solution, however, does not impose any limits. So it depends on the data, I would say.
Okay, thank you. And maybe the last question now. Does the Smart Predict take into account the development of the category or segment by extending the offer? For example, more products on offer?
Yes, of course it does. By introducing some modifications to data captured to Smart Predict. The tool, however, is unable to determine it independently how the result will change when a new product category is introduced, assuming, of course, that historically we haven't sold such a product or reference product.
Okay, thank you, Ada. Could you please show the last screen with our contact? Thank you, Ada. Thank you. Thank you, all the participants. And we will hear in another webinar. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.